or this afternoon, I'm going to ask Dr. James McIntosh of CMOTAP to come forward. How many of y'all know what CMOTAP stands for, what they're about? Raise your hand. All right, he's going to enlighten you all on that. It's a very important formation. I remember when I was a young boy working with my Bob Adele Jones, who wrote Culture Bandits. That's the first time I heard about CMOTAP and the work that they do, because Bob Adele was always talking about how they come against our minds through media. And that, unfortunately, through media, we often give an invitation. How many of y'all saw the movie Sinners? How many of y'all remember that one of the things in Sinners was like, yo, as long as we don't invite them in, we are all right. And then what did the angel lady do? Invite them in. I mean, so sometimes we invite in willingly through these images that we consume on a regular basis, this media. Bob Adele used to call it the American nigger factory, the media, the religion, the education, and the social systems. And we have to be way more vigilant about our consciousness, about our head, and who we allow to own space in our head. And so I appreciate this brother because he's been on the front line, and CMOTAP has been on the front line of trying to remind us that we must become vigilant about what we allow to guide our consciousness. So let's give a hand for Dr. James McIntosh.
Thank you, Brother Shomari. Thank you, everybody that had anything to do with putting this program together. I'm very honored to be here. I want to first acknowledge my wife, Regina. We rode from New York, rode from Brooklyn, New York here this morning. So I'm going to just get right to it. I'm going to ask the engineer to put on the first slide, and I'll talk about CMOTAP as we go. So CMOTAP stands for the Committee to Eliminate Media Offensive to African People. We formed in 1987. Our mission is in our name. As we acquire enough power, that's what our people are going to have to do. They're going to have to eliminate it because it's deadly. It may be one of the most important things. Everybody can try to attack. The name of this program is Rage Against the Machine. The machine has a lot of parts. You can think one part is not so important, and you can think one part is bigger. Whatever it is, if we all rage against that machine, the machine will go down. One person might attack the finger. You attack the finger, you might say the finger's unimportant, but I can tell you, if you let one of these martial artists grab you and grab you by that little finger and bend it back, it will bring you to your knees. Okay, a machine can seem very big and undefeatable, but somebody throw something in that machine and it's the end. So media, are you going to go to the slides? Okay, so they say it's taking a while for the slides to come. So we've, over the years, done things to support media. We've done things to support black media, to support self-sufficiency in media. And in that respect, let me pay respect to my sister here from UNIA, the sisters from UNIA. Give them a round of applause, please. UNIA meets in New York, and one of the people who understood the importance of media was Marcus Garvey, the person who formed the UNIA. He didn't have any social media. He didn't have any PowerPoints. He didn't have any Snapchat or any of that kind of stuff. But he was able to organize 12 million Africans around the world. I don't think y'all heard me. This is good enough for a hand clap, is that right? Let's clap. I want to acknowledge my representatives from New York. The only representatives I've had two of them, and that's Brother Charles and Sister Inez, the Honorable Inez and Charles Barrett. Give them another round of applause. Okay, so these are the 7 messages of a reboot, supposed reboot of Good Times. Anybody remember Good Times, the series of the 1970s? Okay, some people were born out. They showed repeats, so some people saw them. We had problems with it. Okay? But in comparison to this reboot that they put out, It makes the original Good Times look like the Hosea, the sacred writings of the ancient Kemetic people, of ancient African people. That's how bad it is. It has 7 messages. 1, black people are ugly. 2, black people are stupid. 3, black people are violent and criminal from birth. 4, black people are rude, lewd, and hypersexual. 5, black people struggle for freedom, justice, and equality as a joke. 6, black people are worthless and should be killed. And 7, black people have nothing sacred whites are bound to respect. So what I'm going to do is show you a couple of slides. I actually have enough slides to show you something about each one, but in the interest of time and in the interest of us having more of a dialogue than a lecture, I'm going to stop with ugly. I want to show you how they made this message, how they gave that message. And I'm going to tell you why it's not funny. It's literally killing us. Next slide, please. I'm not talking about good times when I'm talking. I'm talking about America. These are the messages from America. They've been the messages from the very beginning. Those things right there are from, they're not quotes, they're telling you parts of Jefferson's notes on the state of Virginia. That's a book that he wrote. And in that book, he tells you that black people stink. He tells you, in so many words, he tells you that black people are ugly. He compares his assertion that black men prefer white women over black women. He says in the same way that orangutans prefer black women over their own species. This is Thomas Jefferson. If you don't believe it, just they got the PDF file right on Google. Just look it up. He said that we secrete more from the kidneys than through the skin glands, which gives us a disagreeable odor. Yet, remember, he stayed with a black woman. He had 4 children by a black woman who apparently that disagreeable odor didn't bother him so much. He owned that person, so she had no choice in it. And for years, they denied it ever happened. Then in 1998, DNA proved that she was a Jefferson. When the DNA proved it, what did they do? Never think that that's going to stop our oppressor. The truth. No, never think that exposing his lie, exposing one lie, is going to make him devoid of lies. All right? Because what they did after that, they said, all these years people saying, he raped this girl because he took her to Paris when she was 14. They denied it, they said no, and he owned her. They denied it, they said no, but the DNA showed that she was a Jefferson. She was the first person in their Innocence Project. In their Innocence Project, they said the DNA proved, okay, that he was not a rapist. The DNA proved what? That it was love. Oh yeah. They made shows Jefferson in Paris. And this is supposed to be the love story of Sally Hemings and Thomas Jefferson. Remember all of the stories they made, the love stories, there's about 4 or 5 of them. All right, so I'm going to skip, let's go to the next one. Next to the next one, please. All right, so the cartoon this is literally like the first slide in the trailer, in which the girl announces, the daughter announces that she has an important announcement. The boy says, what, did they want to cut a disability check for your face? Next slide, please. She then insults him, tells him how he's stupid. So I'll tell you that, even though it's a little off point. She tells him, she said, this is from a guy who stares at a milk carton for an hour in the morning or something like that. He says, yeah, it says concentrate on the box. And then he says, who the dummy now? And the father says, me. Or he said, first he says, S-H-I-T, me for not wearing a condom. He told his children, which message is that? Worthless. He told his children that he's stupid for not wearing a condom. Notice the structure of his face. He has a small cranium and a wide mandible. That is the structure of a grade 8. And you can see in the gorilla cartoon that that's the same template they use. Maybe you think that's a mistake, so let's go to the next slide, please. All right, there should appear yeah. See that little thing down on the bottom? Just click it. There's a little arrow in the bottom left-hand corner of the black portion of the blackboard drive. There you go. This is out of the trailer. Some of y'all didn't see anything. But when we break the slides down and we would see the longer portion of it that went around the world, it's a sex scene. The man is having sex with the woman, but when you look at the individual slides, one of the slides has his face looking like a gorilla. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay? This is a theme. Remember Thomas Jefferson compared us to whom? Orangutans, right? This is a copy of Vogue and this is an old war recruitment poster. Notice the position of the woman in the bluish green dress, the position of the mouth, the red ball on the club. That's not an accident. If you believe in an accident like that, we could go play the lotto. All right? In the middle, that's a frame from that last scene that I showed you. So it's subliminal because it went by so fast, you didn't see it. But I was fortunate enough when I was a child to look at some of the Walt Disney pieces where he would talk about cartoons and they showed you that every single slide of that cartoon they pay attention to. It's not a mistake. But in case you think it is, let's move to the next slide, please. Okay, this theme. This was a woman in West Virginia. She had some position, I actually don't remember what it was. Her name was Pam Taylor. And she said that Michelle Obama, which a lot of people had problems with the Obamas, but I never heard anybody say that they didn't look elegant. They looked elegant. She said that she was so glad that this Trump was coming in, Mrs. Trump, because now we have an elegant first lady instead of an eighth in high heels. That same theme, right? Notice I took and put a picture of her next to me she looks like. I mean, to me they're twins. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the same thing. And then eventually, she got caught for what? Embezzling FEMA funds. All right, next slide. All right, these are some other things where people were talking about it, but you notice, next slide. All right, this was a cartoon in New York, in the New York Post, in which this was at a time when the stimulus bill and that stuff was happening. They were really showing the cops shooting Obama dead. I never saw black people get organized faster in my life. People, the next day, you know, a lot of times we have to put out flyers for a month. We have to go around to different neighborhoods. No, the Post was flooded with people over this. Next slide. That's when, on the left slide is the guy when he goes to the dentist, is the lead character when he goes to the dentist. That's his x-ray. I put two skeletons next to you. Still think it's an accident? No, again, go play the lotto if you do. Next slide. All right, this is was the CEO of Netflix when we started. He's got a black wife. And presumably she still sleeps with him, even though, you see that frame right there? I didn't mention that it's done in front of a dog and that the children are listening in the next room. It's complete with booty slaps and a whole foreplay and fireplay. Next slide. Okay, that's another, okay, next slide. Why isn't this funny? It isn't funny because them telling us we're ugly all these years and us being in situations where the people who look like them have everything, they got all the money, they got all of the conveniences, they got everything. Our women spend 4 times more on hair care than Caucasian women. It's not funny. Next slide. We spend $9.4 billion on beauty products. Next slide. We take knives to ourselves, even if we're the man in the mirror. Next slide. Or the woman in the mirror. Perfectly decent looking people who feel so bad about themselves that they go and cut and mutilate their faces. It's not funny. The hair thing, the products that women are using, carcinogenic, give them cancer, that sort of thing. There's women in Africa, beautiful black skin, taking stuff, putting it on their face, and their skin starts sloughing off because of that. Next slide. This was the original character in Good Times. This is Florida on the left. That's the one on the right. Next slide. Okay, see, that's a convention they use. When something is ugly, the way they tell you that it's feminine and good looking is they put a wig on it. White people are laughing at you when you do this. I mean, I'm just telling you, when you do this to yourself, they take a pig, they make the pig beautiful. They take the duck, they make the rabbit beautiful. And then you see, go ahead, next slide, please. All right, I'm going to stop there. I have stupid, all the other things. I will just tell you a couple of the real offensive things, and I have them on the poster. They have a scene where a mother does the opposite of sex education. She tells her daughter that if she wears a tampon, she'll become a whore. So therefore, she gives the daughter a diaper. The daughter takes the diaper, goes to school, leaks blood all over the school, writes on the board with it, and ultimately throws it. Where does it land? A big glob on a black boy's face. This is a cartoon that your children can tune into. The full sex scene that I showed you is in the cartoon. We have it. Somebody put it on YouTube because we canceled Netflix. We didn't deal with Netflix anymore. It's in French. We don't know if it was shown in Senegal. We don't know if it was shown in Haiti. We don't know if it was shown in France. It goes around the world. So one of the things that somebody said, and a person I respected, when we talked to them about boycotting Netflix, they said, well, is there nobody interested in that? In 1915, let's start. In 1909, a guy by the name of Dixon wrote a book called The Klansman. In 1915, that book was turned into a movie called Birth of a Nation. That book caused the resurgence of the Ku Klux Klan. By 1919, you had the Red Summer, in which the most black people ever were lynched in this country. You don't have to watch it. Your enemy is watching it. Some of the propaganda is for you, and some of the propaganda is a dog whistle to other people to kill you. If you ever wondered how somebody can come from 7,000 miles away, do your nails, and hate you, know the word, the N-word already, before you ever met them and they never seen you before, this is how this media goes around the world. Let's see, next slide. I'm going to stop here. Here's the teacher. First of all, they do have her looking ugly. She's got a pack of cigarettes in her pocket. There's another one where she has a flask up to her mouth, and she says to the mother's asking how she can help her son. What's the message of stupid? He's repeating 10th grade for the 3rd time. The mother is there with her son, and this woman says to him, she says, is there anything you can help me get to the drive-thru? Now, drive-thru has its own sexual connotation, but we're just going to pass through that because you might think that, nah, that's ridiculous, they didn't mean that. But she says, do you do fans only, or whatever that personal porn site is? She says to him, so this is the teacher saying to the child in front of this black woman, and the black woman doesn't lay her flat out. This is media that's offensive to African people. I'm going to stop there. If I haven't told you enough, believe me, I can tell you a lot more as to why you shouldn't look at this, why you shouldn't subscribe to Netflix, why you should save your money on the things you're doing to counter the messages that these things are giving to us. But instead, I think, unless you want to stop here, I thought you want the question answered.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm here for any questions that people may have. Yes, my sister.
I just want to mention that you have to be very careful of watching mainstream media. I think you all know this generally, but I'm not sure if you're aware that CBS was just bought out. It's no longer a public broadcasting system. It was bought out by a billionaire who is very sympathetic to the Israeli movement. Oh, can you hear me? you're wanting to advance Black media literacy, which is what I do. But I just want to mention that we have ABC, CBS, and NBC, okay? One of those pillars was just bought out by a billionaire, so it's no longer public, it's private. It also means that the information that they're sharing is heavily censored. So just be careful when you watch these, again, corporate or mainstream media outlets, particularly CBS. This is like a monumental thing that just happened. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Can you give a sense of a call to action for the people who are just listening to you? There are people here, there are people on Facebook.
All right, there's a slide. If you could advance it, I don't know.
One of my concerns is that we take entertainment for granted. We also take Black denigration for granted. Some of us find it funny. And therefore, sometimes even when we have these kind of presentations, we don't understand the urgency of why we need to act. The first form of action is resistance, i.e. shut it down so it doesn't get here. But then there's still work to do after that. And I want Dr. McIntosh to talk about some of the things we need to continue to press on about.
Yes, if you just go quickly through the slides, just go one slide after the other. Okay, I guess I got to comment on this. This is where they have a fantasy ride on a gigantic tampon through the lower part of a woman's anatomy, past something that one critic called the sperm balls. Next slide. Okay. The thing that I told you with the violence, they have a drug dealing baby. They shoot guns and machine guns at each other. Why isn't that funny? This is I'm not going to show it, but this is, if you click that white arrow, you would see this young lady go over, shoot a guy in the head, the blood come out from the movie what? Who knows what movie that's from? New Jack City, right. Well, right here on the right, this is a real situation that happened in Brooklyn on the right. And you can do that because it doesn't go all the way through the shooting. Just click that right. All right, the sister who sang talked about us not letting anything negative go into us stuff. You garbage in, garbage out. Next slide, please. I'm moving this.
And dreadlocks.
Okay, you can go back. All right, where are we going to attack? These are the executive producers. You have a 1 out of 2 chance of being right. Are we going to get Norman Lear? No, we can't get him. Why? He's dead. All right, Seth MacFarlane, he doesn't come anywhere, but Stephen Curry wants to come to every city. Keep going. Thank you. Okay, next slide. Okay, remember how they did Kyrie Irving? Yeah. Kyrie tweeted a link to a movie about a book that the Anti-Defamation League said was anti-Semitic. Not a word from Jonathan Greenblatt, not a word from Joseph Tsai, not a word from Adam Silver, not a word from anybody that has anything to do with Stephen Curry or the NBA, even though Joseph Tsai on his own paid $500,000, made a $500,000 donation when Kyrie wouldn't apologize. And ultimately they forced Kyrie to apologize by suspending him for some games. Next slide, please.
It's big.
Okay, next slide. Go ahead, keep going. You'll see one with a bunch of, okay, the B word. Listen, I'm not really thrown off by words that people call curses. Why? Because it's the language of conquered people they call curses. So when the Romans, they said, copulate, nobody's got a problem with that. But when the people they conquered, the Anglo-Saxons, so on and so forth, when they said feck, all right, that became a curse word. If you said condemne, or whatever they said in Latin, that was okay. If you shortened and said damn, that was a curse word. All right. But we have a problem, even if you don't consider bitch a curse word, it's a female dog. All right, so calling a black woman a female dog is not acceptable. Next slide, please. These are the things that we told people to do in the beginning. The dates will be off because these things happen early. This is what, in the middle of the campaign. Cancel your Netflix subscription. When you do it online, they ask you why, you tell them why. Don't watch it unless it's a bootleg, unless you see it on YouTube. There are petitions online that you can find very easily. Sign the petitions. Get others in your organization, church, sorority, fraternity, or mosque. Okay, next slide, please. These are what people in California have been doing, okay? This is brothers and sisters on the West Coast. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so these are some people in New York at the Commission of the NBA's office. You might see some familiar faces in there. Anybody see any familiar faces in there?
Brother Barron over there, I think that's him.
Yeah, that's one
I
of
see
the...
Raymond DeGay over there from
Okay.
UNIA.
And you see the head of NACO in New York. You see the brother from Mackey History Club. You see the Black Panthers in the back. Okay, next slide. Simo Tap. Okay, this is outside of Madison Square Garden. You see some of the same culprits. The Barons right in the middle. You see Basim Chowie. You see a lot of people. D12. Everybody. Okay. Next slide. This is at Barclays. We'd like people to go to everywhere where Curry goes. Be there. If Philly could do that when he comes to Philadelphia, they'll soon get the message. Next slide. Okay, that's Brother Shep from the Black Panthers, and some of you know Sister Davis. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, that's in yeah, I think that's California again. Next slide. They've been in Chicago. This is outside of Netflix itself, Netflix headquarters. Next slide, UNIA. All right, we took it down. Well, this is a bigger demonstration, but that's Brother Larry Ham. Larry Ham came to the demonstration at Madison Square Garden also. Next slide. He wasn't in the picture because he came late. Next slide. That has a lot of the offensive things that I told you about. Next slide. That's the babies with the guns. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. That's the alcoholic, pedophilic, nicotine addict teacher. Next slide. Next slide. These are some of the comments people have made online. That's another thing people did. 8,000 people said it was good, 80,000 people said it was terrible. Next slide. Again, what we must do. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, that shows you some of the same culprits internationally are the same culprit. This is him with a dictator from Rwanda. Next slide. Next slide. That's another reason it's not funny. Making jokes about our kids shooting. That's not all the people killed in New York that year. That's the babies that were killed. Everybody under 18 years old. Next slide. That's a block map of Chicago with shootings on the street. The big circles are 5, the little ones are 1, and the others are intermediate. You can see the problem. Next slide. Okay, why isn't it good? Because the research shows you that showing violent media has an effect. They took some children, young children, had them play with toys. Then they stopped it, showed them a movie with the children playing with the same toys, bopping each other in the head. What do you think happened after they turned the video off? The kids that had played with the toys normally started bopping each other in the head. You ever seen children holding guns like that when they playing cowboys or whatever? They don't play cowboys, they play gangsters now. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. That's showing you the research. Next slide. Calling a child the N-word, not good. Next slide.
Can I ask you a question when you get
Sure. Next slide. That's the next slide. Next slide. Next slide. That's the baby selling drugs. Next slide. Sexualizing breastfeeding is not funny. Man, my mouth is ready for some milk right now. Notice the woman's, that's the one that's the black woman with the white guy he just sold the drugs to. Yeah. It's beyond comprehension. Next slide. Okay, I said, one of the messages, black people have nothing sacred, they're bound to respect. Don't make fun of people's religions. We gotta, I mean, that religion may be a problem for some of us, but if somebody's trying to join the struggle, you don't make fun of white Jesus, you don't make fun of black Jesus. Next slide. Black Jesus, a black God, they have a black voice, answers the cell phone, answers your prayers on the cell phone. He has one lavender fingernail, one turquoise fingernail, and Jesus answers the calls, who this? As in the Old Man Tan Moreland movies, who that say, who that would I say, who that? Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Aha, you see, same things they're saying in real life, they said in this cartoon. Next slide. All right, now this is when I said nothing sacred. You don't, see, for some generations, but for our generation, you don't joke about Rosa Parks. You don't make fun of Harriet Tubman. You don't do that. So the father saying, come on, Rosa Parks, can't you enjoy this? This is disrespectful. Have her saying the revolution will not be televised. Next slide. Okay, you don't make fun, you don't put Anubis, also called Yenapu, you don't put Yenapu, ancient Kemetic god, in a cartoon of this nature, with people throwing menstrual blood in people's face. No, this is disrespectful. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, this is not from that cartoon, but this is by the cartoonist, McFarlane. We was asleep on this one. We never knew about this one. And he had Harriet Tubman. He had an Aunt Jemima-like figure who they said in the dialogue is Harriet Tubman, and they said that's Gwyneth Paltrow doing Harriet Tubman. Gwyneth Paltrow is a white actress, next slide, who made a candle called Smells Like My Vagina. And they do that to Harriet Tubman. Next slide. Everything that's McFarlane, the cartoonist, you all think Family Guy is funny, you think all that stuff is funny. This guy is a weirdo. He tries to look more black by going into it. He does tanning stuff during the day, during his lunch break. Next slide. The thing he does with the black woman and having sex with the ape, that's from his family. Next slide. There's an article, jokes about the Klan. That's not from this cartoon. This is McFarlane I'm talking about now. I'm talking about the cartoonist. Why isn't it funny? That's what 15,000 people lynching, torturing, killing a black man looks like. 15,000, next slide because there's a narrative to it from the book Without Sanctuary. Next slide, please. Okay, just a little description for those who have a strong stomach. If not, cover your ears. So this is a retarded boy. All they had to do was present a murder weapon and a confession. They extracted, and it took a couple of seconds for them to make they beat him with shovels and bricks on the way to the courthouse, yelling, burning. 15,000 men, women, and children packed the square. They climbed up on poles onto the tops of cars, hung from windows, and sat on each other's shoulders, so on and so forth. The boy, in agony, tried to climb the skillet hot chain for this. They cut off his fingers. He was castrated. They cut his ears off, all of that stuff. That's what the Klan is. If you don't want me to joke about the Nazi Holocaust, or don't joke about the Klan. Don't joke about our being lynched. Next slide. Don't joke about the police brutality. Next slide. Okay, some of y'all forget this is real. That's Emmett Till on the right-hand side. All right, next slide. Okay, that's Whipped Peter from the enslavement period. Next slide. So jokes about our enslavement, it's not funny. Next slide. You can laugh if you want. Okay, next slide. Okay, let's again, next slide. Okay, next slide. Okay, according to this article, next slide, he says that his mother once masturbated a dog. So what does he do? He makes a cartoon with us. This is, McFarlane said this about his own mother. All right, so he makes a cartoon. Next slide. I tried the next slide, I told you that already. Okay, now this, you gotta take a person's insult by what it means to them. If a person from another culture, the slimiest, dirtiest, worst thing is a oak leaf. If they call you an oak leaf, you say, that don't mean anything to me, right? But in their culture, this means something terrible. Okay, so now, in their Torah, Leah's Torah and Steph Curry's Bible, Leviticus says that if the woman has her menses, she's unclean. I'm not saying that. That's what that book says. Those books say. And that if a man touches her, he's going to be unclean for 7 days. So when they have a cartoon throwing that in the black boy's face, that's showing you what they think of you. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. I think we're there. Next slide. That's a comparison of what the two families look like. That's from the original Good Times. That's from the other place. Next slide. 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 Shooting up the hood. Next slide. That's the woman giving the opposite of sex education to her daughter. Next slide. Next slide. That's them riding through, through the woman's anatomy. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. I've already told you what these things are. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide.
So while he's going through these slides, I'm trying to say, I want to hear from somebody in our audience. What we going to do now? So I just want somebody to stand up and talk about something we can do to counteract this. So I'm going to ask Bob a question, and I'm come to you for your
I think I know the things that we do. You do the petitions, you do the cancellation. Martin Luther King said on April 3rd, 1968, the day before he died, the day before he was killed, he said, every action we do needs to be associated with imposing economic sanctions. In that speech, he called for a boycott of seal tests, he called for a boycott of Coca-Cola, he called for a boycott of one of the bread, and he was killed the next day. Am I saying it's a relationship between those two things? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to stop. I opened it up for questions before, but if other people were going to talk, then I figured I may as well talk myself rather than if you don't have questions. Yes, sir.
What's up?
What's up, brother?
First of all, Dr. McIntosh, presentation absolutely excellent.
Thank you so much, brother.
And one of the things that I would like to do right here before you leave is make a connection so that we...
I don't know if I can be heard, but I'm in a Zoom room. I'm in California. If I can get with a team that's out here networking to do what we have to do, just let me know. I'm here to support.
Okay, so if you'll put in the chat your contact numbers and they send it to me, we will send you some stuff to do, especially if you're in one of these towns that has an NBA team. Excuse me, brother. Fred, what you were saying?
What I'd like to do before you leave is we can commit to having the campaign at least coming out of Philadelphia, because some of us have been on this for about like the last few decades. Like we was aware of and there in the very beginning when you created Semotep, and we've been following you since day one and doing that work. I forgot somebody mentioned Del Jones.
Yeah, Del Jones has been with us many times. He even shouts us out in one of his records. And Betty Dobson is if there was one originator, Sister Betty Dobson, we would say was the founder, but we founded it together, a group of us, and. Thank you for being with us that long. If you want contact information, we can give you contact information.
But in the car, I'm busy.
I don't know what that's about.
I don't know what's happening.
But yeah, I would like to do that.
All right,
What's that?
sure, brother, not a problem.
I'm going to take one more comment before we transition. Question?
Thank you, brother, for the presentation. Why do you think it's necessary for our oppressors, Dominion oppressors, to denigrate, damage, and destroy African people?
Well, the dehumanization of African people is something that's been very profitable for them. When they said that we were animals and they had to Christianize us, so on and so forth, they got people to invest, put boats, go capture African people and put them into slavery, even though those people profess to be Christians. So the dehumanization allows them to do that. Sometimes people want to redefine what's taking place because it spares their, it keeps them from being condemned by others, so on and so forth. So it's important to always have us as we are animals, we are less than human. Notice that that's what Trump did when he wants to move against black and brown people. Remember he called the Mexicans criminals and rapists and all this sort of stuff? And then after that comes, just like in Birth of a Nation, after that dehumanization comes the violence. That's why. In order to do violence to us, in order to get the average citizen, as they were able to get in Germany. It was the average citizen participated in it. The average citizen participated. Does that answer, or I'm not really? No, I want to learn something. Tell me, what am I missing? That's what I said. That's the first thing I said.
Well, the first thing is, for us, slavery was the most horrendous Holocaust in human history. And that was slave trade. So everything else, anytime you denigrate people, you can take advantage of them. See, there's profit in poverty. There's money in misery. There's cancer in criminality. There's quarantine chaos criminality. People are making money. If you look at the last 2 or 3 so-called epidemics and pandemics, right? COVID, Ebola, HIV. Somebody made a book. There is an article, I forgot who was written by it, which said all wars are bankers' wars. It said again, all wars are bankers' wars. Somebody's making money off of this. There's a war on poverty, there's a war on crime, there's a war on black people. Somebody's making money.
And our final comment for this segment.
Just a couple little things I wanted to say. One, I wanted to say I spent a lot of time in Vermont, and you all may know that Vermont competes with Maine to be the whitest state in the country. And so I had the opportunity, being immersed in a white community, I had the opportunity to kind of see the impact of these kinds of things in white community. And when you have a lot of people, like here in Philadelphia, white people are exposed to black people, there's some balancing, but there are a lot of people, including people who are like dissatisfied with the state of with the state of things and the state of the economy and all of that, and they don't know not to blame us, and they're taught to blame us, and they're actually a lot of times politically very close to us, like they're very close to us on the left, but they're missing certain information and then fuel them with certain misinformation, and that helps to create separation not only between like just the working class, but also between like people who would be on the left with us, who would be like revolutionaries that are on the in the white community that are missing too much information to actually align with us, but that would actually act. The people who would actually act because they're ready to do something against the system, but they're actually doing it against us because of that misinformation. So that's one thing I wanted to just mention. The second thing I wanted to mention is it relates to alternatives and what we can do. I'm actually working with people on a project called Ubuntu Freedom, and we have a social media app that we are developing that is called You Free. And so I want to just mention that to y'all because it'll be coming out in the next few weeks. It's called You Free, and that's short for Ubuntu Freedom, but it's really centering what the vision that we have and what we want to build, and encouraging us to create alternatives, positive alternatives, instead of putting out the things that are bringing us down, putting things that inspire us, elevate us, and support the movement work that we're doing. So keep an ear out for that.
Thank you all very much. Let's give Dr. McIntosh another hand. And he's right here. So if you have any follow-up questions, conversations, you want to go out to reach out to CMOTAP, and also create our own formations right here in the city of Philadelphia and beyond. This is I think this is one of the areas, this along with our socialization of our children, where for all we've done as a people, we have been the least vigilant. I don't know how many families I hear talk about, I can't stop them from looking at TV. I can't stop them from having a phone. We better stop. This is one of the greatest weapons used against us right now, along with many others. But if we don't control how we think, we can't control anything we do after that. And right now, our thinking is under subjugation to the people who mean us no good, and systems that are designed for our destruction. We better stop playing along. Hopefully we got that message. Let's give it up again for Dr. McIntosh.